It's FideMaster John Curtis here, and today I'm going to give you a Latvian Gambit. That's right, we're going to go back in the time tunnel, and we're going back to 2003 to the Australian Open Chess Championship. And I'm going to thank International Master Robert Jamieson he was the games editor of the Chess in Australia magazine. There it is there. Robert Jamieson, he was the games editor. And he's done a nice little editorial on my game there, played from the 2003 Australian Championship, Open Championship. And my opponent is J Azuolas, and he's actually Lithuanian. So Lithuania and Latvia, I mean, they're next door neighbours, aren't they? So maybe that's where he got the Latvian Gambit from. But he plays the Latvian Gambit. Now, I'm going to credit Robert Jamieson with the notes. My good friend, International Master Robert Jamieson, I've always admired him. We had some good battles, and he always won. He used to always beat me. I could never get a handle on old Robert. But anyway, he does a good analysis. He was always a fantastic analyzer. Anyway, he starts off and he says, we'll get to the chess.com board. Yeah, he says, KOTOV, in his book, Think Like a Grandmaster, KOTOV wrote a book called Think Like a Grandmaster, says that between moves 6 and 10, you should draw up a plan for the next stage of your game. Okay, so if you want to improve, perhaps you should get KOTOV's book, the Think Like a Grandmaster book. Anyway, that's what he says. Between moves 6 and 10, you should draw up a plan for the next stage of your game. And International Master Jamieson says this is an important point which must be known and applied, as even very strong players can restrict themselves to playing a series of natural moves, and natural moves can be quite strong, right? But they can also lead to problems if your opponent's got their own little plan that they're running. In the following game from the Australian Open, Robert says, Black plays natural developing moves, but when the crisis comes, finds that his pieces do not coordinate properly and he's totally unable to meet White's threats. So here we go, we'll get into the game. And it's a Latvian Gambit, as I said to you. E5, Knight F3, and we'll move up to move 7. F5, there you go, that's the mark of the Latvian Gambit. And I played D4. I mean, I don't remember everything. This was back in 2003, mind you. Pawn takes pawn, now knight takes pawn. Knight to bishop 3, good developing move, and this is all theory. And I played bishop to knight 5. I thought, well, pin that knight. And he played pawn to queen 3, and I moved the knight back to bishop 4. And you know what, I've tried to repeat this game several times. I've never ever been able to repeat this masterpiece, right? He's the only person that fell into it, Azuolas. So bishop to e2, knight to bishop 3, he castled, and then I played knight to e3. He played queen knight to queen 2. Right, so he's helping a little bit because he allows me to get a nice check. All my pieces are developed really good. King goes to rook 1. And we can already see a few weak white squares on the king side. Right, there's a few weak white squares there. We'll highlight those for you. Right, maybe that one there too. Okay. So bishop to knight 3 is played. We just retreat the bishop 1 square. We don't want that attack or we want to be able to counter it if it did get attacked. See, he played pawn and bishop 3. And then now I castle. I thought, well, I've got to get my pieces out quickly. I need rapid development if I want to have a good game. And he played pawn to queen 4. Now, the idea is really good. So this guy's got an idea about chess because he wants to block off that bishop, right? And I need to open up the game. So I played pawn to bishop 3. Now, in this position, he took the pawn. Now, Robert Jamieson, International Master Robert Jamieson, says this only helps white's development. Queen to king 1, preparing to go to king knight 3, seems better. So what he's saying is that after pawn here, queen here seems to be a better move. Queen to e8. There you go. That's what the International Master says. So he played pawn takes pawn. I played rook takes pawn. And he played queen to bishop 2. Okay. So black is ignoring his main problem of how to develop his queen side. Better was knight to king 5, knight to king 5, bishop takes bishop, queen takes bishop. Okay, and black has an easy game. So there you go. You should have done that. Should have played knight to king 5, knight here. When his queen was here. But now he's discombobulated everything. So I played queen here. And I'm attacking the H pawn. And I want to play rook to H3. So he played bishop to queen 3. And he's threatening a check. And I thought, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to go over there. Rook to rook 3. And I got an exclamation mark by the International Master. White now threatens to play rook to king bishop 1, followed by capturing both knights on king bishop 6, and queen takes pawn mate. Wow. That sounds pretty decisive, doesn't it? And then he played this move, knight here. And the engine says white wins. Well, how? Examine all checks and captures. Well, we'll take the knight off. We really need to get rid of that, don't we? So knight takes knight. The pawn takes knight. Now, if we take the pawn, he can play knight to bishop 3. And even though we can take the knight, he can recapture with the G pawn, right? So if we took this one, he could play knight here. And we can't take the knight and mate him because he just takes back with the pawn. And, he doesn't even have to take back with the pawn. He can actually take my rook. So he's winning, right? So he played knight to king 5. Now in this position then, if queen takes pawn, knight to bishop 3 wins. Wins for black, right? So that was his plan. But perhaps he's overlooked something. Can you see the winning move? I'll give you a chance to have a look for it. And it says white to play and win. Okay, examine all checks and captures. Well, there's a check. It's the only check. King takes rook. Queen takes pawn check. Where does the king go? Well, if the king goes back here, it's checkmate there, isn't it, right? Okay. So he pushed the pawn and he thought, oh, that'll get me out of it. Oh, no, it doesn't, buddy. It just means it takes one extra check. And now the king's only got one square and queen there is checkmate. It's a cross bishops checkmate. There you go. The two bishops are covering all the squares, all the escape squares. And that is checkmate in 20 moves. So I hope you enjoyed that game. And we'll just post that to YouTube. And I'll be posting more videos. I'm still in COVID situation, but I'm going to be posting more videos, and hopefully I'll get better soon and we'll get in there and beat a few Grandmasters, okay? Rightio then. Don't forget, thumbs up if you like the video. Please, if you want to help me continue with my YouTube channel, then you might want to consider making a donation to my PayPal link in the video description. Okay? All right then. So I'm just going to say goodbye now, and you can catch me in my next video. Don't forget, click the thumbs up and subscribe. Subscribing's free on YouTube. Okay? And that's all from me for now. I'm going to stop recording. But that was special thanks to the notes from International Master Robert Jamieson of Victoria, a good friend and a very, very fine chess player.